Your take on the debt ceiling. At one point, you were worried about it. Are you anymore?
Oh, absolutely. It's no different than where I was in 22 when I became the governor of Florida. Our state was running a $4 billion deficit. We are going into a possible default in our credit rating for our school system. And what I focused on is the only thing you really can do is grow your economy. So we grew our economy by over 30% in 8 years. We paid off a third of the state debt. We cut taxes. So we've got to figure out how to grow this economy faster. It's our only way out of the financial mess we're in. And we are in a financial mess.
Senator, does that mean you would vote against raising the debt ceiling?
Well, I'm going to look at it as when it comes to the Senate floor and see what it's like then. But I want to do whatever it takes to grow the economy faster. The only way out of this, we can't cut our costs out of it. We can't, we've got to do something. Otherwise, eventually our dollar will be so devalued. So we've got to grow the economy. We've got to reduce regulation. We've got to make it easier to get into business. We've got to reduce the cost of government. So that's what. If we do that, we're going to grow the economy like we did in Florida, and we'll be able to pay down our debt and run budget surpluses like we were in Florida when I left.
Talking of growing the economy, there's been plenty of ideas being bandied about where you sit at the moment. And interestingly, you recently wrote an op-ed earlier this week in the Orlando Sentinel talking about how the Democrats' Green New Deal proposal is perhaps part of, quote, to embrace this Green New Deal plan is to be an enemy of the American economy and the American worker. Anyone who endorses it is a math denier and a job destroyer. How do you create jobs then?
Well, first off, if you do the Green New Deal, not only do you kill jobs, but you actually don't have the money to invest in the environment, which is what we all care about. We care about jobs for our families, and we care about the environment. So what you've got to do is you've got to figure out how to grow your economy so you can invest in the environment. That's what we did. We grew our economy. We added 1.7 million jobs. And the way you do it is taxes, regulation, allow people to get into business. And then you can do what we did in Florida. Record investments in education, record investments in transportation, record investments in the environment. You can deal with sea level rise, all the things we care about. You can do that. But in a bad economy, but look at what they're doing. They're saying no air travel. They're saying there's going to be no fossil fuel. So who is going to hurt? The poorest families will lose their jobs, and it'll do the opposite of what they think they're going to do.
I want to get your thoughts on the national emergency as well, because as you know, the House voted this week on whether to block President Trump's declaration of a national emergency. It passed. The Senate will soon take it up as well. Do you approve of the president declaring a national emergency, or does it give you reason for pause?
Look, none of us want the president to declare a national emergency. However, here's where the Democrats left us. Democrats, they all say, we care about the environment. We care about the border. If they did, they would do something about it. They would invest the dollars to do it. It wasn't the president's first choice. Look at all the things he tried. He tried to work with Congress about DACA. He tried to work with Congress about TPS, and they said no. And they said no money for basically border security. I've been to the border. I went there about 3 weeks ago. And if you talk to border security, they need more people, they need new technology, and they need barriers to allow them to have operational control when either drugs or people are coming across the border. I'm from a state that loves immigration, but we love legal immigration. We don't want illegal immigration. So the president has no choice. So I'm going to support the president. I wish he didn't have to do this, but I believe in border security. And if you look at the people that are opposing it, they're talking about a process. I came up here to get things done.
Talking of perhaps better bipartisan relationships. You were talking there of loggerheads. Let's talk about where you've been working together. And notably, you have been helping with a bipartisan disaster relief package. Can you talk to us about what is driving you to do this at this particular moment? Obviously, those who have lost their homes, it really is a necessary element. But why is this number one priority for you?
Well, first off, we've had, in the last 2 years, we've had some horrible hurricanes in our state. The last one, Michael, not only did it devastate so many people in the Panama City area, but it really hurt our forestry industry. And it basically tore up so much of our forest, and that's a 15-year product that just got demolished. So those people are really hurting. But we've had problems in other states. I'm also concerned about Puerto Rico. We need to make sure we take care of the citizens of Puerto Rico. My first bill actually was to make sure Puerto Rico got the funding they need for relief. So it's a bipartisan effort. We've got to get this funding to help our states that have been impacted by a variety of disasters that have happened in the last 12 months.
Senator, last question to you on buybacks. Senator Rubio of Florida as well is pushing for legislation that would restrict equity buybacks from companies. Do you agree with his proposal, and how would you vote on that?
Well, the first thing is you want companies to find opportunities to invest their dollars. You don't want the dollars to sit on their balance sheet. Look, I don't want to tell companies how to spend their money. If the money goes back to shareholders, I think that's great. Maybe they'll have a better place to invest it. Look, I want people to make smart investments to get a return on those dollars. No different than I'm trying to do as a U.S. senator and I did as a governor. I want people to get a return, but I don't want to raise any taxes. I want to cut taxes.